stuffed with cash that were allegedly for funding an ICC probe into the former President Rodrigo Duterte. Can you please help me understand and break that down? Over to you.
Yes, these 18 former military officers were employed by former Congressman Saldico, who was the former chairman of the House Committee on Appropriations. And they were involved in the delivery of cash on several occasions to Mr. Trillanes, who was in charge with liaisoning with the ICC investigators here in the Philippines. So they know that large amount of money was delivered to Mr. Trillanes to support his collaboration with the ICC investigators here in the Philippines.
So this sounds like good old-fashioned bribery, if I'm not mistaken. So if I understand this ICC, or this official working for the ICC probe, was accepting suitcases of cash to further his probe into his.
Bago tayo mag-umpisa, baka pwede nyong i-like ang video na to. Malaking bagay ang like sa aming mga content creators. Maraming salamat po.
Boom! Eto na, napakalupit mga babayan. PRD, Tatay Digong, papauwi na ng Pilipinas. Totoo ba ito? Alright! So yun, magandang araw sa inyo mga babayan. Umaga, tanghali, hapon, madaling araw, kung kailan mo pinapanood ito mga babayan, nakita nyo ang preview. My goodness! Ayan, na-interview na sila sa Amerika. Na-interview na sa international Fox, no? Media. Ano ibig sabihin ito mga babayan? Biruin mo, nakakahiya, no? Nakakahiya ang mga media rito sa Pilipinas po kung ina nyo. Mas in-interview pa, no? Na-interview pa sa ibang bansa, no? Yung attorney ng 18 Marines na talagang nilalabas talaga nila ang kademonyohang kabulustugan, pagnanakaw ng mga demonyong kawatan ngayon dito sa Pilipinas. Alright, ito po ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon mga babayan. No? Kung hindi ka pa naka-like, like ka na dyan. At kung hindi ka pa naka-subscribe, subscribe ka na. Ako pala si Boy Sardinas, sa membro ng Banateros Brothers. Ay hindi, vloggers lang ako. Sila Tol J at Banat Bayong Brothers. Vloggers lang po kami. Kami po yung mga inuutusan nila Boss Banat Bay. Pag nagsasurvey, napapanood nyo ba kami dyan? Alright. Si Boy Sardinas, napapanood nyo dyan. So, abangan nyo. Pagka nagsabi ang Banateros Brothers, Boy Sardinas, Kalso, TV, Henry on the Go, pwede na kayong mag-survey. Magsasurvey tayo. Makikita natin doon kung paano natin ilampaso ang mga lalaban kay BP Sara. Alam nyo naman, no? Kung hindi tayo dadayain ng mga demonyo ang papangit na mga kuyukot, ay walang kapanapanama itong mga kalaban ni BP Sara. Okay? So ito, pag-usapan na natin to mga babae na. Mamaya sabay-sabay tayong panoorin yung full video, konting reaction lang muna dito sa napapanood natin na preview. Okay? Mga kababayan, ito na. Apakalupit ng interview ni attorney. At ay talaga naman ay kinalabutan, no? Yung nag-i-interview. At alam nyo mga babayan, mapapanood dyan sa buong mundo. Okay, kaya share nyo tong video na to. Abay, biruin mo ha, ay nagsalita itong si attorney sa international, no, na live stream media. Talagang sinabi niya ro na gano dito kay Trillanes, yan, kay Saldico, kay Bongbong Marcos, biruin nyo yan, nakakahiya yan mga kumare ko. Ngayon mga babayan, bakit sinabi kong makakauwi na si Tatay Digong? Abay, syempre, kung sakali na talagang mapatunayan at matulungan at ay pagkaisahan ng ibang mga bansa o mga iba-ibang bansa itong ICC, dahil dito sa nilabas na to at may katibayan na itong ICC ay tumanggap ng $2 million ay talagang mawawala na talaga ang ICC na yan. Bakit ba kasi meron pang ICC international na po kung ina nyo? Meron naman ng mga bansa ng mga attorney, meron judge. Sino ba bumuo ng ICC na yan mga walang yan? Ay private yan mga babayan. Ang nagpapasweldo dyan mga babayan, yung mga miyembro ng mga bansa. My goodness, binubuhay nyo, pinapalakihan nyo ang mga tiyan ng mga ICC na yan. Tapos nalalagyan pa. My goodness, yari ka ngayon, Trililing. ang pinakasinungaling na tao sa balat ng Pilipinas, si Mr. Trililing. My goodness, nako, paktay kang. Alam niyo si Trililing, mga babayan, pag ito ay napatunayan talaga na siya ang utak, no, ng ICC at siya ang pinaka-bagman na nagdadala ng mga milyon-milyon na pera, no? Ay, hindi natin baka ano to baka mas maganda rito kay Trililing bitay dahil sa kawalang hiyaan na ginawa niya. At itong mga sangkot na sinabi sa ng mga Marines ay dapat talaga to mapatawan talaga ng bitay talaga to, mga kababayan. Mga kababayan, pwede bang i-comment nyo diyan sa komentan natin diyan sa pinagko-komentan nyo. Pwede nyo bang ano bang gusto niyo parusa sa mga demonyong kawatan na to pag napatunayan na talaga sila ay nagkasala at tumanggap ng milyon-milyon na pera? Gusto niyo ba silang makulong ng habang buhay or mabitay? O, tanong ko yan sa iyo, Mare. Pwede bang i-comment mo dyan? Baka umabot ka sa video na to. Pwede kang mag-comment ng bitay or kulong na habang buhay. Ano bang makokomento mo? Alam nyo naman, mga babayan, itong paglustay ng kabang-kabang pera na talaga naman ay pera ng taong bayan, ang kakapal ng mga mukha nyo, putang ina nyo, no? Pinaghirapan ng mga Pilipino yan, kung palahin nyo ang pera, ay ganun-ganun na lang. Kung ipaubos nyo sa sugal, sa kasino, babae, pagkain, talagang natutulog na lang kayo sa kapangyarihan or yung pera. Grabe, no? Naglalangoy kayo sa swimming pool na pera. My goodness, hindi man lang sila, walang konsensya tong mga walang yato no? Yung mga kaluluwa na tong mga demonyong to ay binenta na kay Satanas. Yun, ganun talaga yan, mga kababayan. Hindi na nila naiisip yung kababayan nila. Kahit anong mangyari, mabaha, di ba? Kita nyo, flood control, naging multo. Di ba? Hindi na nila iniisip, mga kababayan, yung mangyayari sa kanila, mga kababayan. Kaya ang kaluluwa nila, binenta na kay San Pedro, binenta na kay demonyo, yung Satanas. Kaya wala na silang konsensya dahil naibenta na nila yung kanilang kaluluwa. Kaya magpakasaya sila sa pangungurakot ng kaban ng bayan. Di ba? Kita nyo? Alam nyo, mga babayan, pagka itong si Tatay Digong makauwi na, huwag kayong mag-alala dahil naipalabas na sa international media. At ay malay nyo, magtulungan talaga yan na si Tatay Digong makauwi na. Konting panalangin pa at ay naka-step by step na tayo dahil si attorney ay na-interview na po ng Fox, ng international live stream media. Hindi ba? Nakakahiya itong mga binanggit na pangalan ni attorney, si Trillanes, si Marcos, si Saldico at yung mga iba pa na mga sangkot sa affidavit ng 18 Marines. Ano daw yan, mga kabayan nasa 100 plus yan, 103. Yata yung mga private security na delivery man ni Saldico. So sana yung mga iba lumabas pa. Napakatapang na tong 18 na to. At ay mag-iingat kayo, sir. At ay sana hanggang sa huli, wag po sana kayo masisilaw sa gagawin ng kalaban dahil alam natin yan ay baka supal-palan din kayo ng pera. Sana paninindigan nyo na po, no? Sana wag kayo mawawala at ay para sa taong bayan, sa pamilya ng mga kababayan natin, mga anak, para ibuwis nyo na yung buhay nyo dyan. Kung talagang ibubuwis nyo na. Sana walang iwanan. Yun naman ang gusto natin, di ba, mga kumare ko, dahil kawawa naman yung mga apo, mga anak natin. Kung ganyan lang mamumuno sa Pilipinas, wala hong mangyayari. Tapos si Bongbong Marcos, biruin mo, magbibigay ng 5,000 ayuda sa mga tricycle driver. Siguro na konsensya ang gago. Di ba? Bawasan natin yung mali-malit ang pera, pamigay naman natin. Baka sabihin naman nila, tawag dito, sinosolo natin yung pera ng Pilipinas. Di ba? Grabe ang utang ng Pilipinas ngayon. 18 trillion na. Aray ko. Siguro pagka nagkaroon na ako ng apo, nagkaroon ka rin ng apo, Mare, ay magbabayad pa rin tayo, no? Pag namatay ka na, ubos na lahat ng laman loob mo, puro buto ka na lang, nagbabayad pa rin tayo ng utang. Di ba? Ay nako, Diyos ko. So, ganito mga kumare. Sige, para hindi natin pahabain pa itong ating kwentuhan, ito na sabi ko na malamang na mangyari mga kumare ko na si Tatay Digong ay mapauwi na. Dahil ito na step natin na mapapanood yung kabulustugan kademonyuhan ng mga demonyong kawatan sa buong mundo. Okay? Dahil na-interview na, malay nyo sa Tatay Digong ay pagtulong-tulungan ng mga bansa na tirahin itong ICC para pauwiin Tatay Digong hanggat ay meron pa siyang natitirang lakas para makauwi ng Pilipinas. Siyempre, alam nyo na, nangangampanya tayo ngayon mga kumare ko, mga kumpare ko, alam na, solid Duterte tayo sa 2028 para ubusin ang mga walang hiyang kawatan. Ha, di ba? Wag ho tayong bibitaw. Ipangkampanya natin si BP Sara, wag ho tayong tawag dito, wag tayong bibitaw pag may nakita kayo na mga nagkakampanya na kalaban ni BP Sara, ibunyo, sabihin nyo Duterte, no? Ipahiya natin itong mga demonyong to, ang kakapal ng mukha, at gusto pa nilang tumakbo, para mangurakot na naman kayo, pukilan nyo, inubos na ang kaba ng bayan. So ganito mga babayan, panoorin natin itong full episode ng interview kay attorney, no? Attorney ng 18 Marines. Tingnan nyo po, wala po siyang takot dito na ilahad sa buong mundo ang nangyayari sa Pilipinas sa mga kabulustugan ng mga demonyong kawatan na sinanglanan nila ang kanilang kaluluwa kay Satanas. Okay, panoorin nyo to. Don't forget to like mga babayan, share nyo tong video na to para mapanood ng ibang mga kumare natin. At maraming salamat mga kumare. Shoutout po sa inyo. O tara, panoorin nyo na to. Let's go!
All right, next on the program here on RT, to the International Criminal Court we go, where amid the body's charges against the former president of the Philippines, Rodrigo Duterte, 18 whistleblowers have come forward documenting a massive trove of cash payments being made in secret. A Philippine lawyer has presented a sworn affidavit from 18 former armed services personnel of the Philippines who provided security amid the criminal investigation into President Duterte. The sworn testimony tracks bribes to foreign investigators with suitcases of cash covertly handed to them. As a reminder, Rodrigo Duterte was arrested a year ago upon his arrival to Hong Kong and transferred to The Hague. He's accused of crimes against humanity during his war on drugs between 2011 and 2019. Well, let's get down to the crux of the issue here. Crossing live now to attorney Levy Baligod, who presented a sworn affidavit from 18 current and former Philippine Armed Service personnel tied to this case in question. This is very intriguing. Mr. Baligod, good afternoon and welcome to the program on RT International.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Rory Sochet, and good afternoon as well to all your viewers.
It's a great pleasure to have you on the program today, sir. Just so I understand, you are the attorney representing 18 individuals who made claims of delivering suitcases stuffed with cash that were allegedly for funding an ICC probe into the former president, Rodrigo Duterte. Can you please help me understand and break that down? Over to you.
Yes, these 18 former military officers were employed by former Congressman Saldico, who was the former chairman of the House Committee on Appropriations. And they were involved in the delivery of cash on several occasions to Mr. Trillanes, who was in charge with liaisoning with the ICC investigators here in the Philippines. So they know that large amount of money was delivered to Mr. Trillanes to support his collaboration with the ICC investigators here in the Philippines.
So this sounds like good old-fashioned bribery, if I'm not mistaken. So if I understand this ICC or this official working for the ICC probe was accepting suitcases of cash to further his probe into his how he wanted it to work out. Help me understand this.
No, to be fair, the 18 former soldiers did not see Mr. Trillanes actually handing money to the ICC investigators, but they know that large amounts of money were delivered to Mr. Trillanes, being the liaison of the political opponents of former President Duterte here. And then they also saw, being the security detail to the ICC investigators, that they only interviewed witnesses that were brought to them by Mr. Trillanes, and therefore it is a fair conclusion that there was no bona fide investigation that was conducted here. All their expenses, hotel accommodations, travel expenses, including the use of private vehicles owned by politicians who are publicly known as opponents of Mr. Duterte, were used by the ICC investigators. And we know that being investigators, they should not only be impartial, but should also appear to be impartial.
Yeah.
But that did not happen here in the Philippines.
All right. So if I'm getting this correct, that some of this money is coming from former political opponents of Rodrigo Duterte. They want to make sure the ICC probe hammers down on Duterte and essentially gets him out of the political picture. But after these accusations came to light, Mr. Baligod, the ICC made a statement saying it operates independently and that it is exclusively funded through the court's approved budget. What is your response to that, please?
Yes, that is the correct policy, that they should be independent. But that did not happen here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
They were wined and dined here. So how can they be neutral or impartial if they were hosted by known political opponents of the former president?
I see. Gosh, you get into politics, it gets so dirty so quickly. Now, it is worth noting here, Mr. Baligod, that the Philippines withdrew from the ICC in 2019 after the court decided to open an investigation into Duterte. So what is the court's legal jurisdiction in this case?
That is one serious problem here, because the Philippines withdrew from ICC in 2018, and the ICC that large amounts of money were delivered to Mr. Trillanes, being the liaison of the political opponents of former President Duterte here. And then they also saw, being the security detail to the ICC investigators, that they only interviewed witnesses that were brought to them by Mr. Trillanes, and therefore it is a fair conclusion that there was no bona fide investigation that was conducted here. All their expenses, hotel accommodations, travel expenses, including the use of private vehicles owned by politicians who are publicly known as opponents of Mr. Duterte, were used by the ICC investigators. And we know that being investigators, they should not only be impartial, but should also appear to be impartial.
Yeah.
But that did not happen here in the Philippines.
All right. So if I'm getting this correct, that some of this money is coming from former political opponents of Rodrigo Duterte. They want to make sure the ICC probe hammers down on Duterte and essentially gets him out of the political picture. But after these accusations came to light, Mr. Baligod, the ICC made a statement saying it operates independently and that it is exclusively funded through the court's approved budget. What is your response to that, please?
Yes, that is the correct policy, that they should be independent. But that did not happen here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
They were wined and dined here. So how can they be neutral or impartial if they were hosted by known political opponents of the former president?
I see. Gosh, you get into politics, it gets so dirty so quickly. Now, it is worth noting here, Mr. Baligod, that the Philippines withdrew from the ICC in 2019 after the court decided to open an investigation into Duterte. So what is the court's legal jurisdiction in this case?
That is one serious problem here, because the Philippines withdrew from ICC in 2018, and the ICC residual jurisdiction should have ended a year after, or on March 2019. But the ICC investigators first came in the Philippines in December of 2023, or after almost 4 years, when the right of action already lapsed. So I don't know how ICC derived jurisdiction when its residual jurisdiction had already lapsed.
Yeah, it's a very, very good point. I appreciate that, Levy. I wanted to ask you, Duterte, when he was doing his war on drugs, I was working at CNN back during this, and he did, I thought he did a lot of good work. I know that, some of the guys who were dealing the drugs in the Philippines, these were armed militant gangs. They had machine guns and all sorts of stuff. And Duterte was doing the right thing by trying to help society by cracking down on these narcotic gun-wielding gangs. But the problem is, Duterte became a problem in the eyes of certain Western players. I remember distinctly back in 2016, the former U.S. Secretary of State, John Kerry, he went for a lunch/dinner with Duterte at the presidential palace. And the story goes that John Kerry, the former U.S. Secretary of State, gave Duterte, or tried to give him, a suitcase with $700,000 in cash. Duterte reportedly said no. Really pissed off John Kerry. Ever since then, Duterte's been a problem. What are your thoughts?
Well, my observation about the former president is that he is not corrupt, and that the drug war was a necessity to prevent the Philippines from being ruled by narco politicians, and that his warnings about killing drug lords and drug pushers in the Philippines was a statecraft necessity to discourage would-be criminals from continuing with their criminal trade. We also know that he was openly anti-American in his language, no? But he was just trying to push for an independent foreign policy, because we know that up to now the USA still has a strong influence that reticulates through our bureaucracy.
But it's not just in the Philippines. I think that kind of American influence spans many governments around the world. Kind of disturbing to say it, but I think it's quite true. Do you think the Philippines, do you think you're stuck between a rock and a hard place? You go back to the presidency of Duterte. We know that America wanted the Philippines to take a certain hard line against China. And Manila is trying to play both sides. Well, we want to be friendly with China, we want to be friendly with America, but maybe one or two are asking us to choose sides. Does that make any sense to you, Levy?
Yeah, because the Philippines sits in a strategic location, which is part of the first island chain, as they say. But there is a government template where the Philippines should deal with China economically and deal with America militarily to balance both hegemons, so to speak. But that did not work because the US would not want the Philippines to build a stronger relationship, economic relationship with China. And also China would not want the Philippines to have a strong military relationship with the US.
Yeah.
So that is true. We are between the devil and the deep blue sea, or between Sheila and Charides, no?
Yeah.
But, our foreign policymakers in the Philippines should realize that the Philippines can be both friends to China and the US. And the Philippines being a strategic, geographically strategic in the South China Sea is already an obsolete concept when it comes to geopolitics, if I may say.
Well, it's. I think you're absolutely right. For the Philippines, really stuck between a rock and a hard place, between two of the biggest global players on the block. I think it's a very intriguing and somewhat disconcerting position to be in. But we're so grateful for your time. We're also grateful, frankly, for the former presidency of Rodrigo Duterte. But for the meantime, Philippine lawyer Levy Baligod, it's so good to have you on the program to shed some light on this complicated story. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Rory.
Thank you very much.
Ama naming Diyos na makapangyarihan sa lahat, salamat po sa iyong pagmamahal na hindi nagmamaliw. Sa gitna ng kaguluhan sa aming bansa, Turuan niyo po kaming magtiwala sa iyong hustisya at hindi sa hustisya ng tao. Linisin niyo po ang aming mga puso at ituro niyo po ang tamang daan ng katotohanan at pag-ibig. Tulungan niyo po kaming maging ilaw sa gitna ng dilim at ipakita sa mundo na may pag-asa pa sa pangalan ng aming Panginoon Hesus. Salamat po sa pag-ibig po ninyo at salamat sa pagdinig ng aming mga panalangin at iligtas niyo po kami. Sa pangalawa po niyong pagparito at patawarin po kami sa lahat ng aming mga pagkukulang at pagkakasala sapagkat ito po ang aming samutiling sa matamis na pangalan ng aming Panginoon Hesus. Amen.
Sa lumang silid, mag-isa kang tahimik. Walang kamera, palakpak ay wala na. Ngunit sa bawat pader ng bayang iniwan mo, may pangalan mong di na mabubura.
Minsan kang naging balikat ng mahihina, kalaban ng takot, kakampi ng asa. Di mo man laging nasabi ang tama, pinili mong ipaglaban ang madla.
Hindi ka sakdal gaya naming lahat, pero tumindi ka nang walang pag-atras. At ngayong pagod ka na, tatay, kami naman ang sasalo ng bawat bigat. Hanggang sa dulo, ikaw ay mahal. Kahit papagod na ang iyong katawan. Tatay, salamat sa iyong paglaban. Ngayon, kami naman hanggang sa dulo. Di ka namin iiwan.
Ang kwento mo'y dala ng bayan.
Tahimik ka na sa mga batikos. Wala nang tugon, wala nang galit, pero sa mata ng mga maralita, naroon pa rin ang tapat mong alaala.
Marami mang di nakaintindi, marami pa rin ang di nakakalimot.
At ngayong wala ka ng kapangyarihan, tatay,
Ang magtatanggol sa'yo ay bayan.
At yun na nga mga kababayan, ano na ang masasabi mo? Kung mayroon kayong hinaing at komento patungkol sa balitang ito, please comment down below. Pag-uusapan natin yan sa comment section. At kung nagustuhan nyo ang video, ay huwag kalimutang mag-like at i-share na din para mas marami pang makaalam at umabot ito sa marami sa ating mga kababayan. Maraming salamat po.
Mabuti pa ang sardinas, may label. Eh tayo, wala.
Oo nga pala.
Nay, ito na yung bayad ko sa isa, ano? O, kunin mo yung isa. Isa muna, iyan, no? Tapos, isa pa, di ba? 4 dapat na sardinas, eh. Yan. 3 na. Pang-4 na sardinas. Okay na.